Hello, 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 and welcome back to Cook It and Eat It here on Jim Johnston Reviews the World. And today, happy Thanksgiving, everybody! We have for you a very unique take on Thanksgiving dinner for a party of 1 to a party of 4. So you got a small little group unit in your household. This is the perfect thing for you. We're gonna make an entire Thanksgiving dinner all in one crock pot. Join me now as we make the holidays festive, fun, tasty as can be, and most importantly, one dish to wash easy. Let's get started. While we have everything laid out, let's get started and we'll go through the paces to get this recipe made. We will need just a tad pinch of ginger, garlic powder, seasoned salt, crock pot. This one's already set to high. That's where we want to start. Fresh black pepper, jumbo buttermilk biscuits, or flaky, or whatever kind. Hawaiian, whatever you like, Hawaiian rolls. I wanted the old school kind of southern style biscuits today. A Rice-A-Roni brand, long grain and wild rice, or the equivalency, 4.3 ounces if you go with another brand. The size is very important to this. You'll know why later. W sauce, liquid smoke, basil leaves, Italian seasoning, and oregano leaves. I use the Italian seasoning because it has that parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme that Art Garfunkel used to sing about. 2 medium to large sweet potatoes, 1 bag of fresh cranberries. Notice, Wisconsin grown. You're gonna need some celery, some carrots. I usually buy baby carrots, and that's just how it is. 1 nice big bay leaf, a 1/4 cup of diced onion, sweet or yellow preferred, 1.5 cups of chicken broth, 1 pumpkin pie, 1 pecan pie, and our main event is Thanksgiving. What's Thanksgiving without a turkey bird? You're gonna wanna have for this recipe today, 1 nice package of turkey breast tenderloins. I believe there's 2 full tenderloins in there. These happen to be rotisserie flavored, but you can pretty much buy whatever flavor you want. I wouldn't necessarily go with an Asian type flavor. I know there's like a teriyaki one that might not work as well, but rotisserie or a rosemary, or I think there actually is a cranberry flavored one out there. Anyway, this is all you need for this recipe. It's a bunch of stuff. It's gonna all go into this crock pot and make one delicious meal. All right, let's get cooking this amazing one-pot Thanksgiving dinner. Crock pot has been heating over high heat with about a tablespoon or so of oil in it while we went ahead and got the initial vegetation ready. So what this is kind of a layering effect. So we're gonna start out with our vegetation, that being a 1/4 cup of diced onion, a 16-ounce bag of baby carrots, and I went ahead and halved those, and then 6 celery stalks cut into about inch and a half size pieces. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna dump all this in. Onion ends up on top. All right, so we got our veggies in. That's going to need the most time to cook of all this. And this is going to be our base. This, along with our wild rice, will kind of make up our stuffing at the end, as well as our vegetables. So we'll dispense with the green bean casserole for this year and go with a few other things. Then throw in your bay leaf and your chicken stock. Mine's still frozen because I accidentally de-thawed the wrong thing this afternoon. So when I realized it, when I went to start cooking, I had to just grab this out, but it'll thaw out before we know it. And I've got a set of tongs I'm using for cooking today because we're gonna just need to slightly turn things. Not really a lot of agitation will be needed. And then 2 dashers, 1, 2 of W sauce, 8 drops of liquid smoke, a very light dusting of seasoned salt, about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Hear that starting to sizzle. About a teaspoon of oregano, teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Actually, let's make that a teaspoon and a half. There we go. 1/2 teaspoon of basil. Put that over there. And then about 2 teaspoons fresh ground black pepper. All right, go ahead and clamp the lid on that and let this first part cook on high for about 90 minutes. And in the meantime, we can go ahead and get everything else ready that needs to be ready. You want to break your 2 medium size, I'd call these medium large sweet potatoes. Break these down to about 3/4 inch cubes. They don't have to be perfect cubes, but you know what I mean. Just slightly larger than a standard 6-sided dice. And then just rinse your berries, look for any really bad ones, and let them drain over cold water. 90 minutes on high heat. Medium. All right. It's been right out about 90 minutes. Our vegetables have been cooking away. Let's open it up and see where we're at. And we should be ready for step 2 of 5. This is a 5-step process to a 1 crock pot Thanksgiving dinner. That is, of course, everything except for our pie and our biscuits will go in here. You'll want to heat or cook your biscuits separately, and the same with your pie. I just got mini pies because I'm all alone this year. So just take these vegetables that are just starting to soften up nicely. It smells wonderful already. Smells great. This bay leaf really, I don't know if it's the bay leaf or the carrots, but something has a real nice, slightly perfumey, but in a good way, smell to it. Could have been that chicken stock that I had. That was some high-test homemade chicken stock. Anyway, then we're gonna go ahead and open up our turkey tenderloin. I'm just gonna go and lay this sucker in here. Oh, there's 2 of them. And we're just gonna slide out as much of this juice as we can, because that's flavor, and here on Jim Johnston Reviews the World, we never want to waste an opportunity for flavor. Flavor in our food and flavor of life. Looks pretty good in there. Alright, so I just adjusted them a little bit real quick after I washed my hands. Looks good. We don't want it quite touching the sides because we don't want any, we want the radiant hit to get this. Sticking down on that juice just a little bit. So at this point we're going to clamp our lid back on, still on high. Alright, it's been actually 45 minutes after you had the turkey. Go ahead and give it the 45 minutes. It could use that little bit extra time. And those veggies, carrots and celery, they're not going to get obliterated overdone. But as you can see, our turkey has a nice little first layer of cooking done to it. And we're just going to simply pick it up and flip it. There we go. Let that bay leaf get back in there and let this celery get back in there. And then just kind of move it around to get the carrots and celery that are on top pushed back down into the liquid. This smells absolutely amazing, folks at home. We're going to take our cubed up, for the better part of cubed up, sweet taters and just put those in around the turkey. Alright, we got our potatoes in and they're just kind of laid around the outside. Some we're going to get a little more steam, some we're going to get some of that juice soaked up from the bottom. Either way, a nice batch, a nice amount of sweet, tender, perfectly cooked sweet potatoes. I didn't mention, but when we cut it up, we did peel it. We probably, you know, I didn't make sure I got every last bit is what I'm saying. I just got probably 95% of the skin off, which is good enough for my liking. Standard potatoes, I always eat the skins, but sweet potatoes, the skins after you cook them, especially in this where we're wet cooking, wouldn't be preferred. One last thing, just as you have a chance, don't have to do it now, but grab your box of wild rice and open it up. Take out the little paper seasoning packet. If you use the Rice-A-Roni brand, you'll have a little paper seasoning packet. Take that seasoning packet out and dump the seasoning packet in with the rice. And then just kind of shake it around. But just do that so when we add it to this whole thing, the rice will already have its seasoning incorporated. So we're going to put our lid back on and let our taters, turkey, and veggies go. Alright, it's been about another 45 minutes. Let's open her up. You can see our potatoes starting to soften up. And we're just going to kind of lightly stir these about. Give everything a chance to soak in that wonderful, flavorful juice that's building down in here. And here, not in this step, but in the next step, a lot of that juice is going to get taken up by our wild rice. Alright, and if some of your potatoes break up a little bit, that's alright. It's going to be delicious anyway. Then we want to get our potatoes back on the sides, and we'll just leave our turkey like that since she's mostly submerged right now. And then it is time, we're getting close to eating, but we still got an hour and a half or so left. But it is time for our cranberry phase, and just dump those whole cranberries in there on top. Try to push them down just a little bit. And we want these cranberries to cook on top of that meat, so as they start to cook, they can soak down and that turkey can pick up just a little bit of that cranberry taste. That's a big favorite of mine over the years. I like to eat a little bit of the cranberry sauce with my turkey as opposed to eating gravy. And that is the one optional thing that we don't have on this meal. You could make up some low sodium gravy or buy turkey stock and thicken it yourself or whatever. But that's not a part of this meal because I personally am not much of a fan of gravy. I'd rather have cranberry sauce with my turkey bites. So we're going to clamp this lid back on, let this hang out for another 45 minutes, at which point everything in here should be just about done enough, and then we will... Alright, it's been another 45 minutes, and we are getting into the home stretch here. But folks, you're watching this in instant time on the internet. So, when we added those cranberries, that we're going to go in with a very light sprinkle of ground ginger on top of the cranberries. Just a very light sprinkle, and that'll help things out a little bit. So this is bubbling away of ground ginger on top of the cranberries. Just a very light sprinkle. So this is bubbling away. Smells amazing. Whew, does it. So at this point we're going to get ready to finish things off. Get all these cranberries and everything off the side. Look at those potatoes are done. And we want to remove the meat. Remember there was 2 of these, so I want to remove this real quick. Turkey breast looks amazing. Gonna stir this, try to be gentle with it. We don't want to break up the potatoes or the cranberries too much. We do want to give everything a stir around. And then we can discard our bay leaf at this point. It's done its job. We want to do our best to make a well here in the middle. Pile up the veggies the best you can. This smells so good. Then we'll go ahead and pour in our wild rice, which will thicken things up a bit. Stir it in a bit, and then we're gonna lay our turkeys back in, kind of let them just chill out on top. They are already pretty much done. Get all that extra juice back in there. All right, at this point, we pretty much have all the heat we need, but we're not gonna turn it all the way. But let's go from high down to low. Clamp our lid back on. Another 35 to possibly as much as 50 minutes, and it should be ready to eat. So at this point, be a good time for you to turn your oven on. Go ahead and get ready to heat your biscuits up or bake your biscuits, whatever you're doing. We'll be back to finish it up, say our thanks of giving, and show you how it all turned out. All right, we're back. It's been about another 45 minutes, and I think it is just about Thanksgiving dinner time. You can see that rice puffed up and sucked up a decent amount of that excess liquid. It smells amazing in here, like always. We're gonna take these turkey breasts out, set them aside so we can slice them up. Give this a little stir. Make sure we don't have anything stuck on the bottom. Now this is everything all in one, like I said from the beginning. So it doesn't necessarily look like your traditional Thanksgiving, but we got all the flavors all cooked together, all melded together. I think it's gonna be amazing. My biscuits are finishing up cooking. Check out those breasts. It's a lovely pair, if I must say so. I'm gonna slice these turkey breasts up, finish my biscuits, and we'll be back to plate it and show you how it is. All right. The cooking is done. It's Thanksgiving, it's warm and cozy. This is the meal that makes it easy, delicious, and simple to clean up because we only dirtied one plate, one pot, one cookie sheet, and because it's easy to clean up, we're gonna eat on a paper plate, but we are gonna use real silverware because I'm not a complete savage. So here we have it. Here's our beautiful cooked and sliced turkey breast tenderloins, our biscuits, buttermilk biscuits, still warm from the oven, and our rice, carrots, celery, sweet potatoes, cranberries, all into one. So it's like a stuffing, it's like a side, it's like your vegetable. It's kind of an all-in-one. It smells delicious. I say we make up a plate real quick and get down to the eating. I'll tell you what, you cook your turkey this way, guaranteed not to be dry. It is nice and moist, perfectly cooked through, all but falling apart. Should have gotten out a spoon, oh well. A little bit of our stuff, our all-in-one stuff. We got our little pies. These are not, I'm not a giant, I'm not Andre the Giant. These are just mini pies I bought. We got a biscuit here. Split this in half. Oh, it's still warm. Still warm. That's the best. Now, when I got a warm biscuit, I like to drizzle a little honey on it. Honey on the biscuit, like they say in the South. Honey on the biscuit. There we go. Close that back up and let the honey soak in. Check that out. Check that out. Looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. Before we eat, just want to say a few words. I know for a lot of you, for me, for everybody else, most of the people in this entire world, not just Jim Johnston reviews the world, but the entire physical world, 2020 has been a rough year for a lot of us. Just remember, folks, no matter how bad things get, no matter how dark the next day may seem, as long as you have your life and your health, even if it's not in the best health, and you have those you care about around you, you will persevere. Life and the world will get better. All right, I have hope. I've had dark days myself for the last few years, and the last thing you have to lose is hope. And there's always a small glimmer. There's always tomorrow. That's all I want to say about that. I want to pause for a moment to give thanks to all those generations of people that have come before me to make life in America, as imperfect as it might seem, life is good. Life is still good. We have it better than just about any other generations in the history of mankind. We have this awesome movie studio, iPad, this phone that I'm recording this on would blow the minds of people just 50, 60 years ago. We have air conditioning in the summertime. How awesome is that? Refrigeration, deep freezers, the internal combustion engine making the automobile. Wow. And here in America, no matter how things may seem, we have liberty, we have freedom, and every year it seems like we're working towards that universal truth of pure justice for everyone. Most of all, this Thanksgiving holiday season, I want to thank each and every one of you that has tuned in to watch Jim Johnston Reviews the World, to watch me on this journey. When I started back in March with Isolation Stew, we now have over 50 total episodes of Cook It and Eat It, Jim Reviews Stuff, Championship Fridays, a couple channel update videos, Jim Taste Test It video that I tried out once. We've put up over 50 videos. I blew right by it and didn't even know, but we are getting close to the 50th episode of Cook It and Eat It. That'll be coming out in early December, so look forward to that. It's not a special episode, but it will be number 50. Been a great experience for me. I've learned about editing on 2 different platforms now. I've learned about social media. I've learned about Instagram. I've learned more about Facebook. I've learned a ton about YouTube. I've learned that the algorithms don't matter to me. I make the content that comes from my brain and from my heart and my soul, and I put it out there in the world for those of you that choose to view it. I'd love to grow, I'd love to be able to make money on this channel, but any way you see it, as long as I'm getting views, sometimes it's a little, sometimes it's a lot more. It's random as can be, but as long as people are watching my stuff, interacting with me on Facebook and Instagram at Jim Johnston Reviews the World, I'm gonna keep doing this because I enjoy it and I feel like it brings value to my life, and it brings value to the community by teaching people how to make wonderful, delicious, just simple meals and giving people information about products on gym review stuff, and then my little lifelong hobby of pro wrestling and my little championship Fridays that I started recently. And those are going to keep going, work as hard as I can. Alright, I think I've talked enough. This is going to be a longer than normal video. I somewhat apologize for that, but hey, it's the holidays. What are you going to do? Before we eat, I just want to take a moment. Again, thank everybody. Let's bow our heads. Remember that something larger than ourselves, whatever you call it, in whatever nation you live in, there was something larger than ourselves that created the world we live in and the universe. Alright, let me just say thank you. Enough of the blabbing. Let's eat. Go in here, there's a piece of celery, a little bit of rice on it. There's a cranberry on there. It's sweet, it's tangy. Celery's cooked perfectly. There's some sweet potato. Oh my god. So much flavor in that sweet potato. There's cranberry on the bottom. Check that out. Wonderful. Let's see how our biscuit with the honey tastes. It's a biscuit with honey. Nothing too fancy. Didn't put any butter on it. Good stuff. All right. Turkey time. You can actually see the moisture and the fibers there. Oh man. Definitely picked up something from that rotisserie flavor and it came in. A little bit of, all this has just a hint of smoke from the W sauce and the liquid smoke we put in there. That's wonderful. And I cooked the cranberries on top of the turkey for a reason. And the reason was this turkey picked up just a hint, just the perfect little sweet hint of flavor from those cranberries. And it is exactly what I was hoping for. Look at that yummy, delicious, juicy turkey. This is great. The rest of this doesn't look like much in terms of its presentation. I mean, it's good. It looks good, but it tastes amazing. It's, in some ways, it's like the most amazing and unique and delicious stuffing I've ever had. Really good. Really, really good. Let's check out our little apple pie before we go. I said apple pie. That's definitely a pumpkin pie. That's good. Really sweet. Really sweet. Let's try the pecan. Good stuff. That's actually really good. I like that one better than the pumpkin. Everything's good. All right, that'll do it for our one pot Thanksgiving supper for 1 to 4 people. This has been another episode of Cook It and Eat It here on Jim Johnston Reviews the World. And if you like my stuff, please comment below, subscribe. I don't usually ask you to do that, but do that. And share this video and all my other videos with your friends and family to help me grow the worldwide audience. And hey, why not go down below and throw me a thumbs up this Thanksgiving from my home to yours. Thank you for watching. Remember always, folks, life is short, life is precious, and you gotta live your life your way. So, on that note, remember always, folks, be weird, be free, and most importantly, be independent. Happy Thanksgiving!